Hi, I'm Rick Lasky, and for today's Pride and Ownership Minutes, I'd like to take a moment and visit with you about that ownership that we talked about before. Good friend of mine, Tommy Schiavino, Chief Tommy Schiavino from Oak Lawn, Illinois, very close and dear friend. The story I tell, Tommy gave me my first lesson in ownership, in pride and ownership, and he's kind of embarrassed I tell this story often, but it's a great story, Tommy, so I'm going to tell it. Years ago, when we were young firefighters, we were in their community and fighting a fire in an old 3-story school. And while we're in there, we're trying to get through the floor. We had 3 or 4 layers of floor, fire running the floor joists, and we were just taking a whooping inside there. And there's 2 other firefighters from a neighboring department trying to start their saw and couldn't get it started. And all this is going on. Tommy kept asking the interior chief, "Hey, chief, can I go get my saw? Will you let me go get my saw? Let me go get my saw." And I'm over there at the time thinking, and I just knew Tommy. I'm going, "You little arrogant cuss. I mean, come on, what is this my saw thing?" And so about 7 or 8 my saws later, the interior chief says, "All right, Tommy, go get your saw." He goes on a hallway, comes back in, starts his saw with 1 pull, makes my job a lot easier. So now we're outside, and this is when I become an outstanding firefighter, when the Salvation Army canteen shows up, and I'm outstanding waiting on pound cake and hot chocolate. I know you're looking at me going, where does he put it all? But I saw Tommy, and I asked him, I said, "Hey, Tommy, what was with that whole my saw thing, my saw?" And he looked at me, and he says, "That's not my saw, and those aren't my guys, and that's not my squad, but today, that's my squad, that's my company, and that's my saw." And I didn't get it exactly at that moment, and I thought about it later, and that was ownership. And years later, Tommy and I were talking. He says, "Ricky, you know, that's not my saw, but when I walk into the firehouse in the morning, the blade can be full of tar, the tank can be empty, the plug all fouled up. I'm not going to go worry. I'm not going to try and get to that other captain on the other shift. I'm going to worry about the things I can fix and not the things I can't. So I'm going to clean the blade up, fill it up, blow the plug out, because today it's my saw. Today that's my saw. Today that's my firehouse, my company. Today that's my stuff. That's how we do our job." So there's so much more to the ownership thing than just saying I'm a firefighter. It's about how you look at what you do, where you're at, and the things you take care of in the firehouse and the people you take care of out there helps define pride and ownership. I'm Rick Lasky, and that was your Pride and Ownership Minutes for today. Be safe.